To recap episode 14, in July 2024, things at Offsite were rough. It was one of the hardest months I've ever had running the business. The buyer had signed a term sheet back in early June, but more than 40 days later, I was still waiting on his credit approval. Then Canon, our biggest account, let go of their technician who worked out of our Phoenix facility. 2 days later, they told us they were sending all their copiers to be built and delivered by one of their competitors, a local dealer. When I heard that, it didn't make any sense. Copier companies rely on deliveries to close sales. Why would they hand their order paperwork and customer lists over to a competitor? It just didn't add up. Have we lost Canon? And I'm in the middle of selling the business. What happens now? Does the sale fall apart? Does my valuation drop? I've spent 14 years building this company. In Sacramento, I couldn't sleep. My stomach was in knots. I caught an early flight home back to Phoenix to figure out what was really going on. I landed back in Phoenix early that morning and was just pulling into the office around 8:15 when my phone rang. It was Rachel. She told me that Randy, the former Canon technician who had worked out of our warehouse, had just shown up at Offsite, and right behind him a Ryder truck had pulled up to our dock. Canon's order processing team had told Rachel that Randy was there as a Canon representative to assist the local dealer with the transition of Canon's equipment that was sitting in our warehouse. They said the Ryder truck was there to pick up that equipment, both the units that were already built and those still waiting to be built. That immediately struck me as strange. If Canon's issue was that there was no technician available, why would they move both completed and incomplete equipment? It didn't make sense. Another piece that didn't fit. We wanted to find out who this local dealer was so I could reach out and hopefully work with them. I figured they probably didn't have the manpower or fleet to handle all of Canon's deliveries on top of their own. The driver who showed up had only Canon paperwork. No dealer name, no logo, no uniform. Just a plain t-shirt with a Ryder rental truck. Our warehouse manager tried to get a name, but the driver dodged every question. A few minutes later, Rachel sent me a photo of the truck. I jumped back in my car and pulled around the corner and decided to follow it and see where it was going. So I got back to the office. Canon, whoever this dealer is that they've got that's taking this equipment, they're at my dock right now. They came in a rental truck, and don't have any name on the paperwork. They wouldn't say where it's going. So what I've done is I've pulled out down the street, and I have the office supposed to text me right when they leave. I've got a picture of the Ryder truck with the number on the back of it, and I'm gonna follow them and see where they go. So we'll keep posted on how this undercover goes and see what happens. Any bets on where it goes? Hopefully it's a friendly dealer. Okay, we have them ahead there, tailing them. See what happens. Behind them now, almost lost them at that left on 51st Ave. Had a nice little truck behind me, but now I don't know. So we'll see. I'm gonna let some other cars get behind, create a little distance. So update, I did a little maneuver back there into an exit lane because it was just so close. I couldn't, nobody was getting in between me and the truck, and I had quite a distance. So I pulled off, so it looks like I got off and went on a different freeway in case they thought I was watching. And then I pulled back out after I got out of their line of sight. They're way up there, you can see them. And I got a number of cars in between. I think if there was any suspicion, it should be dropped by now, but it is a big gap. But following a truck is easier, I think, too. So we'll see how this pans out. But that's the current status right now. I don't have any disguises I can use, but I did turn the automatic headlights off too, just in case. But getting a little close, shade back further. But there are cars now between us, thank God. Wasn't having that for a while. Suspicions now, it looks like POA would have been the exit back there, so I'm thinking maybe it's not them. Now I'm down to all copy and Fruth. So I zigged and zagged. I got off the next exit. They got off at 32nd Street. I figured it was too obvious, but I felt at that point with it being 32nd Street that I had narrowed it down to Fruth Group. I put into my GPS where to go see Fruth Group, but Fruth Group, the location I found there off University is only a sales office. There's no parking for trucks or anything there. So I called Rachel and she got me the address of their warehouse, which is now where I'm heading. I have it in the GPS and I'm heading there now, but I believe, and this is the direction I thought the truck was going. Stay tuned. Please be fruit. Please be fruit. See a fruit truck. See something here. I didn't see anything. There should be Canon or boxes and trash too. So you think I didn't see that there, so I don't know if that was it. I think it might be this one. It's International. I don't see a Ryder truck there. After a few hours of following the Ryder truck, I finally figured out who it belonged to. It was TTR Shipping. For some reason, either Canon or this local dealer had contracted TTR to pick up the Canon equipment sitting in our warehouse and haul it to them. When I caught up to the truck, it was just pulling into TTR's lot, which told me it must have just returned from wherever it had been making deliveries. I never saw it stop at Fruth, so the only real thing I learned that day was TTR had somehow inserted themselves into this situation. What made it even more confusing was the comparison. Offsite had 7 drivers and 8 trucks dedicated to Arizona alone. We had a presence in Los Angeles, right near the freight hub, and could move semi-loads of freight between California and Arizona on short notice. That level of coverage and flexibility was one of the big reasons manufacturers like Canon had relied on us in the first place. TTR, on the other hand, they didn't have a location in Albuquerque and nothing west of Phoenix. Most of their work was brokered out through agents. Even with all that in mind, Canon had been very clear that they had no other option but to use a local dealer. I felt like I had to take them at their word. There's just no way, I thought, that a global Japanese company like Canon would create some kind of elaborate scheme of lies or deception. July 13th, 2024. 6:19 a.m. It's Saturday. Well, it was a hell of a week. So I got back to Phoenix, caught that early flight, Sacramento. Had to fight. And so, did the chase the truck, found, where that was, contacted the POA, said it wasn't them. They didn't do anything with Canon. Then I thought it was Fruth. Talked to my buddy there at Fruth. It's not them. He said he heard All Copy won the Gilbert Schools bid, and I figured whoever had the Gilbert Schools bid would be where the Canon stuff was going, and he said it was All Copy. Over the last few days, I've been searching for a Canon-certified technician. I know a lot of techs in the Copier world, but none of them were certified specifically with Canon. Apparently, to get Canon-certified, you have to be an authorized Canon dealer. That's the only way to access their online training and certification programs. So I reached out to Canon and offered to get one of the technicians we already worked with certified, thinking that might solve the issue. Canon ignored my offer completely. At the same time, I was trying to track down Randy, the former Canon tech who used to work out of Offsite. I figured if I could find him and bring him on board, maybe that would fix a problem and get things back on track. Thursday, July 17th, 2024, 6:44 morning. It's been a week since the Canon bomb dropped. Oh, well, since Randy's gone, we have to have a Canon certified technician to do these things, so we're sending it to. So I searched online. Randy's cell phone I had was shut off. I think it was Canon. So then I think I found it online. We confirmed we think that's his house. I think it's his phone number. I called twice and left 2 text messages. The first one was just, hey, give me a call. Nothing. Second one, I was a little concerned. Maybe it was like Canon is so cloak and dagger with this whole thing that perhaps they scared him with his NDA for his severance that he probably signed to, don't tell them whatever, anything's going on. So I think he could be paranoid. I don't know. So I said, hey man, I'm not looking to just get any information out of you. I'm looking to see if you'd be interested in being a subcontractor to build out Canon machines or potentially an employee. And still nothing, no answer on that. In terms of getting anything out of Canon, nothing. So I sent a thing to them yesterday. Hey, is our relationship terminated? I just need to understand which direction to go with my business. And they've been radio silent still. They just will not answer anything on it. I did disclose the situation to the buyer of the business, which has put it in a bit of a state of flux. The guy, when he bought the business, the valuation wasn't based on the revenue, the valuation was based on the profitability. But what I've also did yesterday was built out the managed services document. So managed freight services, and this is designed to mirror how Copier dealers sell their products with cost per copy or managed print services. And what we do with that is we can put, I look at their average volume, where the equipment had gone over a 12-month period, and then blend that in with storage, local deliveries, give them a fixed monthly rate with an allowance with a quarterly reconciliation on overages, which can be changed to semi-annually. I have annually, but I'm probably going to not offer. Attention to it is life can always be worse, and be grateful, and I am for everything. You know, my health, my family, my wife, my life, that I can walk and talk. There's a lot of things to be grateful for. And life could throw a lot more, and so this is my challenge I've got to deal with right now. But I'm gonna fight, do everything I can to make this work, and take it as a challenge. But I appreciate everything I've got, and I'm not gonna take that for granted of what I have and not be happy with what I have. I'm just gonna do everything I can to fight for getting this back. So we have a Canon order here. It arrived. I think they're going to have it shipped over to a dealer to deliver it. So to determine what dealer, we have an Amazon tile to place it in the machine. Let's see what we can find. There you go. We'll see what happens.